Hi, family. Welcome back to Becoming Jasmine 365. A little bit of change of scenery today. I am recovering from a surgery, and it has been up and down. I have been holding on um, to my relationship and just holding on to who I know God is. And so today's devotional is very close to my heart because it's Him reminding me of something. And we come here to grow every day, 365 days a year in Christ. And this is blessing me. I didn't, you know how you don't always know what's going to happen or why things are happening, but I wasn't sure why he told me now to start recording. But going through certain journeys and certain experiences in life, um, this is so helpful to me because not only am I asking what he wants me to say to you guys, he's teaching me what he's saying to me as well. So today's devotional, it's about faith. And I'm not talking about churchy, surface level faith. I'm talking about faith that pleases heaven. So he reminded me that it is impossible to please God without faith. So today, grab your Bible. Y'all already know. King James Study Version Bible. And we are going to Hebrews today, guys. We're going to Hebrews 11 and 6. And we are talking about faith. 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 Because, whew, if I didn't have faith, if I didn't know who God was, okay? So let's go to Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews 11, verse 6. And then we're gonna this is like the anchoring, but we're gonna dive into some people today. So I know usually we're just talking about things, but today we're gonna talk about people because we are all human and it's one currency, one that we cannot please God at all without it, and that's faith. I don't care who you are, what your situation look like, what your financial situation is, your marital situation, whatever environment you're in, it does not matter. You have to have faith to please God. So Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So when we talk about faith, like you have to have faith in who God is, period. You're not going to somebody to heal you if you don't think they're a doctor. Like if somebody just randomly you fell down and you broke your foot, and somebody randomly come around like, oh, let me just, you kind of like, hold on, get up off me. But if they come in scrubs and they got a badge on and it says doctor, you're going to be more willing to let them do something. So if we're going to say faith, we have to first have faith in who God is in general, like just knowing that God is. And then you really could fill in the blank because he's he's so many things. But you have to come to him knowing that God is God, that he is God, and that he is a rewarder for those who diligently seek him. I'm not talking about just, oh, I'm gonna come to you because my head hurt a little bit. Oh Lord, please get me out of this, and I promise I won't do it again. No, diligently seeking him. Keep coming to him because you have faith in who he is. You keep coming to him because you know who he is, and you know something's going to have to break, something's going to have to shake, something's going to have to change because nothing is bigger than my God. Nothing is bigger than my God. And I'm talking, I've been dealing with pain and doubt and wrestling with so many things, but nothing is bigger than my God. And so, what always anchors me is that I have faith in not only who he is, but what he told me. So, the verse doesn't say without perfection, without consistency, without having it all together. It says without faith. Without faith. And that's comforting because faith does not require polish. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to look like $1,000,000. It doesn't require polish, it requires trust. Which is hard. It's listen, because sometimes we try to blame God for things that people have done. But you can do it. It's free. It's free to have faith. Now, it may end up costing you in some areas. So let me not just say it like that, but it's something that we all can come with. It doesn't matter your social class. It doesn't matter your how much money you have. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It's something we all can produce. Everyone can produce it, and that's faith. And so faith is how the kingdom works, okay? So I want you guys to think of faith as currency. Like it's the currency of the kingdom in a world where money moves things. You know, money is our currency here. Faith is the kingdom's currency. So faith moves. Faith moves. It's not passive. It's not still. It's not lazy. It moves. Okay. So prayers, faith is how prayers get answered. Promises are accessed. Obedience makes sense when logic doesn't. When I tell you guys, I've done so many things that make no sense. Not only do it not make sense to people, it don't make sense to me. I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on now, Lord. You sure? It moves. I'm so ready, and it don't make sense to me. And I am the type that likes things to make sense. Like I like to know what's going on. At this point, you guys are getting to learn me. Like I said, I'm a binge watcher. So if I'm gonna watch the series, I'm gonna watch the whole series. I don't want to see episode one. Then gotta wait next week for episode two. Then gotta wait for episode three. Let me know when the season is over so I can sit down and see beginning to end. That's how I'm set up. That's how he made me. I don't know, but I like to know what's going on. And sometimes that's just not what I get. It's not. He'll give me a direction, and I don't sometimes don't even really know where to start. And I'm like, because it don't make sense to me, Lord. What? Faith. Faith unlocks so many things. It unlocks so many things. And you don't earn God's love, but faith is how you engage with him. So I can't earn God. God loving me is just his character. He is love. That's him. But how I engage with him is I let him know I believe who you say you are. I believe you. You're the creator of the universe. I believe that. Jesus is our redeemer. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we engage. That's how you start building that rapport and start getting that experience. That's how your faith grows. That's how you go from glory to glory. Because it's a muscle. You exercise it. You're gonna start with it. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit. And that's okay. Like you tiptoeing it. I remember when I first started to really come back and have a relationship with God outside of just like, oh, it's a religion, or oh, I believe, but I don't really know what that means. A lot of us believe and don't really know what it means. So when I got to the point where I was like really dipping my toes in it, like, okay, you say you want a relationship with me? I don't know how to have a relationship, at the, honestly. So I was just dipping my toe in, and it's like, okay, it's safe here. I'll put my whole foot in here. Oh, it's safe here. I'll fully step in, and he's just going to keep taking you and taking you. I've made mistakes. I've been disobedient. I've been stagnant and delaying, fearful. It's so many things I've done with him. I do them with him. And he going to pop me on the back of my head. He's going to correct me, but he's going to pick me up. He's going to love me. And he's going to push me forward. You don't get to stay stuck. And your faith just keeps growing. Like it just keeps growing because he's good. No matter the situation, he's good. So of course it's going to keep growing. It can't go nowhere but up because he's good. Believe him for who he is. And so we're going to talk about a few people now. So we're going to talk about three people when it comes to faith. And Hebrew 11 tells us Abel brought God a better offering. Not a louder one, not a flashier one, a better one. Because Abel's faith showed up in how he approached God. Because you have to believe he is who he is. So Cain and Abel, we all know this. Well, I think we all know. Most people know the story of Cain and Abel, even if you're not very religious. Most people know the story of Cain and Abel. Abel brought the very best, the first fruits, because if the president of the United States, I don't know, I don't know if I want to say that one. Say a really big celebrity or somebody's coming into town. or coming to your job or your whatever, you're going to a concert, you're gonna put on your best because you like it's that reverence for who that person is. It's like I want to give them the best of me because of how you perceive that person. Now, if I'm just popping up to somebody's house, they might not even put no clothes on because they're like, oh, it's just Jasmine. It's that familiarity where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna give you something just to give it to you versus I'm giving it to you because I know who you are. And so Abel's offering was accepted and Cain's was not. But it wasn't just a routine. It's not like, okay, I'm just going to give to give. Because sometimes we get into tithing and yes, it's biblical, but then we get so lazy and lackadaisy with it. That's just one thing that ends up becoming routine. You're no longer giving because you're reverent to God. You're no longer giving because it's that biblical standard. You're giving just out of routine, no heart behind it, no faith behind it. That's not where Abel came from. Abel came and was like, you are God. I'm going to give you the best of what I have because you deserve it. That's who you are. And that convicts me a little, I'm telling you, because sometimes I do not give him my best. And I love him, but I don't. I get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm just doing it because I'm doing it. And the intimacy is gone. The intimacy is gone. And that's when the Holy Spirit steps in and it's like, Because see, what you don't want to be is lukewarm. He'll spit you out. He'll spit you out. But that faith is that faith. Faith asks, God, what honors you? Not what's the bare minimum I can do. We get very comfortable with the all I need is a 75 to pass. C's get degrees, okay? Especially my college students know what I'm talking about. C's get degrees. And so you get to a point where you'll just skate through because you can do the bare minimum and still pass. And that's not faith says, God, what honors you? You deserve my best. My best really not even good enough for him if we're going to be real, but you deserve my best. And me knowing who you are, me having faith in things that, just who you are, because I haven't seen him per se, but I've seen him. His creation speaks to who he is. Jesus reveals who he is. So it's not just that I haven't seen him physical eyes. I've seen him. I've seen him. And so you have to like, what honors you? Like I don't want to just be spiritual. I really want to have that relationship. I want to have that back and forth and that connection with the Holy Spirit. I want him to tell me, hey, you're being lukewarm this week. You're disconnected. You're praying, but you're not here. Or you're reading, but you're not here. It's times I've read and I couldn't even tell you what I read because I'm somewhere else in my mind. And you have to recalibrate. You have to draw it in. Sometimes you just have to start talking. And I like to sing to him when it's just me and him. And I keep feeling my head sway. I'll play some music because it'll draw me in to who I'm here for, why I'm here. And it'll just kind of like set the tone and the environment because we get stuck in routines, and I want us to get out of routine, and I want us to really walk in faith. I want us to walk in knowing that God is who he says he is, and he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And sometimes it's not going to look right. Sometimes it's not going to make sense. Sometimes you're going to have your own expectation for it and it's going to look completely different. And now if you anything like me, here's a tantrum coming on and he's like, get up, get up. But it's that faith. It's holding on to who I know he is. It's holding on to knowing that he's going to reward me if I keep coming after him, if I keep pursuing him, if I keep chasing him, no matter what it looked like, no matter when I don't feel like it, no matter. I've had times where I've talked to him and I said, Lord, I don't feel like it right now. I don't even know what to say to you because I don't feel like it, but I know I need to talk to you. I know I need to be in your presence. I know I need to hear from you. I know I need to be around, but I do not be feeling like it. I don't. Not at all. Sometimes got a little attitude. And then I be checking me though, because who do you think you are? But it's the faith. It's me knowing that I already have this experience with him. And then when he take you through something big, you can hold on to what you've already saved up because I told you it's currency. Currency. You're going to keep growing it. It's going to keep building. It's that 401k retirement. It's your savings account. That you don't even pay attention. Every time you're obedient, when you take him for his word, when you believe him and you step out on faith, it keeps accruing. And then when you don't have it and you deplete it, you have a bank to pull from because you've already started to store it up. You've already had these experiences with him. You're already saving it. And then you've done so much work that you don't pay attention to how much you put in until it's time for you to be able to pull something out. And when you go and you put that card in, you got something in that bank. I'm just saying, y'all, trust me. I'm just saying, y'all, take it from Abraham. So Abraham obeyed God and left everything without knowing where he was going. And it's not, I know we look at the Bible like, okay, it was 1,000 years ago. So what? No, this was a whole civilization. Like he was from the land of Ur, Ur. And he had his own, they had their own gods that they were, following. It was civilization. Like it was the big city back then. Like it was he was stable, he was comfortable, he had, possessions and all these things. And God's like, let's go. Pack up and go somewhere. I ain't even telling you where you going. Pack up and go. And he believed him. He believed him. He took him for his word. He didn't have it wasn't no navigation system back then. He didn't give him no timeline. He wasn't like, this time next year you're gonna. He didn't say that. He told him, pack up and go to a place I will show you. He didn't even show him yet. He like, I'll tell you. Just go. Just pack up and go. And that's just a promise. That's just a promise. But he believed. Faith. Faith moves. He may not be moving you to another city. He may not be moving you to another job. Faith moves though. What is he telling you to do? He might tell you just get up and start working out. Just walk for 30 minutes a day. He might tell you put the pop down. He might tell you put the cigarettes down. He might tell you, he's definitely going to tell you not to be having, intimate relations outside of marriage. Like it's a lot of things he's telling you to move out of. Some spaces, some mindsets. It's a lot of different things, but faith moves. You can't, if I tell you that the house is on fire, but the smoke alarm didn't go off, and you say, I believe you, but you don't get up and leave that house, do you believe me? So Abraham teaches us that faith doesn't wait for comfort. Faith moves when God speaks. And a lot of us need clarity before obedience. And that's not. Faith says, if you said it, God, I'll step even when I don't understand. Even when I don't understand. You don't need the clarity. You need him. You need the instruction. You need the direction. The fact that God is still speaking is amazing. Like the fact that he talks to me is amazing all within itself. So I can't be like, well, slightly a miracle that you're talking to me, but I need to, you know what I'm saying? No, he's like, I said what I said. We just talked about writing it down and making it plain. If you even wrote it down, that's faith. It took faith for me to write down in my journals what he told me to write down, and straight coming out of depression and not seeing any value in me. No, I didn't see no value. I didn't want to die. Didn't care if I did though, because I didn't see no value. And he's telling me that he's going to use me for what? I'm going to start doing, huh? You want to give me what? I saw no value, but I believed him. I believed him. And so I wrote it down as faith. Told me to write it down because he knew he would have to send me back to show me. I told you a long time ago what was going to happen. I don't always have to tell you exactly how I'm going to do it. Sometimes he will tell me how he's going to do it. At this point, most of the time he don't. He'd be like, child, go do what I told you to do and get out my face. And then Sarah, the faith, like I told you guys, it's going to start small. It's going to start small. You're not about to be out here moving mountains tomorrow, you know, um, because when he told Sarah she was going to have a baby, and Sarah up there. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to say though, that I was thinking about, as I was thinking about Sarah, is Sarah had to be her. Okay. Sarah must have been mwah, Because for Abraham to feel like he was going to be, hurt for her when he kept lying, talking about that was his sister, for her to have been old, well, back then, their old is different from what maybe we consider old, but she had to have been fine because Sarah up there, about 80, 90 years old, and he's talking about that's his sister because he ain't trying to get killed for them to take her because she laughed when God said she would have a baby. And then go try and lie. Listen, they was a little lying family. So I'm like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. She laughed. But she conceived because she considered him faithful. It grew over time. Her perception of God, her revelation of God. And because she considered him faithful, knowing that he can do whatever it is he says he'll do, she conceived Isaac. She conceived the promise because she believed he is who he says he is. Like, it's really that simple, y'all. Like, I know it don't be feeling simple like that, but it really is that simple. We make things harder than they have to be. Trust me, I just made things harder than it needed to be. And sometimes that's just our humanity. That's just our humanity. He's factored all of that in. But that faith is what kept me going. That faith in knowing that God didn't send, he told me to do something. I can't lose in it. How can I lose if he sent me to do it? But that's the faith that I have accrued over all this time, over my relationship with him. And he reminded me today that it's my faith. It's not because I'm perfect. It's not because things are flawless. It's not because I'm the smartest, the prettiest, the brightest, the any of that. It's because I believe him when he tells me who he is. And I don't put him in a container because he can do whatever he wants to do. Take the container off. I asked him to expand my capacity because he may not do it how you think he's going to do it. Just know and believe he's going to do it. Hold on to that faith that he will come through when he says he's going to come through. And if he didn't give you a timeline, just wait on it. It's coming. When you place your order at that restaurant, they don't tell you what usually I've never had anyone like, oh, okay, sometimes they're like, it'll be up in about 10 minutes or whatever if it's like a fast food restaurant. But when you sit down and you order, you trust that they're going to bring your food out, but you don't know when. But you know it's coming. You know it's coming. From a chef, you won't never met a day in your life probably. So when God tell you it's coming because you done placed your order, that's aligning with his will. Now, sometimes we be cutting up because it's like, oh, well, I always have to tell him, I'll tell God what I want because he's my father. I'm going to tell him what I want. But I tell him, if that's not in your will, align my will to you. I surrender to you what I want. This is me telling you what I want. Sometimes we have not because we ask not. So I'll be telling them, this is what I want. But I don't want to pray against your will for my life. Because when I'm in alignment, it's smooth as butter. Usually. But hold on to that faith, guys. Like, that's pretty much what I came to say to you guys today is hold on to that faith. 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 He is who he says he is. He can do what he said he can do. He can do more usually than what he tells us he can do because we barely can wrap our heads around what he's doing now. And even when it looked like he's not moving, he is moving. He don't sleep. He don't sleep. Hold on to that faith. Write that vision down. Make it plain. Believe he is who he say he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. He wants to bless you. He can't wait to bless you. It pleases him to bless you. The only one standing in your way is you. So I love you guys. I will talk to you guys soon.